So, what we're going to dive into today is going to talk about how there are limitless opportunities for aging service providers just like yourself to leverage the impact and power of a de-prescribing pharmacist. And let me show you how. Honestly, we got to talk about falls. We got to talk about ways that our older adults are not having an intimate discussion on whether these medications are still safe and appropriate. Of course, we're assuming that their providers are touching them, they're aware of the medications, but has there been a thorough, comprehensive review looking at the long-term benefit and maybe potential long-term harms as it relates to those medicines? It's a good question. I'm curious. Have you had an hour-long conversation as it relates to your loved one's full medication history? And I don't mean just another, are you still taking this? Yes, no, yes, no. My friends, that is not a comprehensive medication review. It needs to be an interactive discussion looking at not just prescriptions, but over-the-counter medications, herbal supplements. What is your food and diet and lifestyle looking like? Additionally, is this even an accurate medication list? I can't tell you how many times we look at an EHR med list and the patient's not even taking a third of what's on there, right? So when's the last time have you had a trained clinical expert in pharmacology look through them and assess, is this really what's best for my grandma or myself, right? And I want you to take a moment, and really think about that. I meet countless patients, caregivers who, are caring for someone in their 70s, 80s, and they have yet to have a deep dive on all of the medications, including those over-the-counters and including those herbals. Well, guess what? That's exactly what GeriatRx as a company prides itself on, is giving you the lowdown on what meds may or may not be appropriate once we have, the time to actually talk with the patient and get their attachment, their understanding, and their knowledge of why they're taking certain things. And that could be as simple as, how long have you been on this? And do you think it's still working for you, right? Do you think it's helping to manage the condition that it was initially meant to be used? What are your thoughts on us reducing the dose, or maybe reducing how often or frequent you may administer it? Will this help with your quality of life? You see, the magic of de-prescribing starts with, one, educating the patient, helping them know what their options are and have an understanding of where they're coming from when it comes to the meds. There's definitely a history of why things have started, but what is their emotional attachment to certain medications? Has it helped manage an issue that they've been long struggling with? Or was it added on just because they heard it was good and a friend used it, and so I've been on it for 4 years without anyone telling me I should stop? You never truly know until you have a deep conversation that looks at the history, that looks at their buy-in, their perceptions, that looks at, of course, the medical history of why things may have started. And of course, looking to see, were there any opportunities for us to improve this person's care? So, the meat of today's topic is, why is it so urgent for aging service providers and aging business owners to address de-prescribing, right? Oftentimes we find that 750 people in this country are sent to the ER just because of medication-related harm, okay? That's a significant number of people. And I think we could do a lot better as a community and as clinicians to address the topic of de-prescribing outside of just your traditional healthcare setting. A lot of this really can come down to having a simple conversation. When's the last time you've had that conversation in the community around the topic of de-prescribing? And so what I'm also noticing is we have an amazing diaspora of aging service providers. And I mean outside of just your traditional doctor's office, right? We've got people that range from downsizing homes and moving for seniors, or Medicare enrollment, or physical therapists, right, who are doing home visits, or occupational therapists that are falls proofing the house, doing assessments for senior living. There are specialists who provide, of course, direct caregiving services, right? Some non-medical, some medical. There are people who do more dementia care expert services and needs. There are people who offer adult daycare programs, right? And respite services for our caregivers who need a break from all the caregiving. And who better than to address the topic of medication safety than, of course, your local very own pharmacist, right? But what better way to consider a unique combination of having a pharmacist tie on to any of those service providers that I've mentioned today? It is quite pivotal. And yes, you may not have to be the clinical expert, but it always helps to have someone who understands medication safety, the risks that may be associated with the medications, and is this really what is the best for the person in front of us today? And that's why when we incorporate our deprescribing consultations or medication safety audits, we're starting off the conversation with what matters most to the patient and to the family. We love employing the wonderful framework from the 4M's. So yes, I am a proud aging-friendly pharmacist, and I'm a huge advocate of all health systems and all businesses focusing on what matters most to the family you're servicing. That's why it is so critical for us to understand the 4M's. If you're not familiar, check it out. It's a wonderful framework that clinicians, and I feel patients, should also use when it comes to advocating for themselves and what they're looking for out of their healthcare. Of course, everything under the 4M's will come back to what matters most. That's the first M. Second one is mobility. How are we preserving our loved ones' mobility? All right. Third, mindset. What are we doing to make sure that their mood and they're socially involved, and they're not dealing with any depression or any type of isolation in their care? Super important there. We got to make sure the mind is healthy, right? Mind, body, spirit, it all connects. And then lastly, we tie all those things into the medications. Are there any medications in the mix that are conflicting with what matters most to the person we're here to serve? That is the bedrock of aging, frankly, as a clinician. And when we get down to that model, it really gets to the root of patient-centered care. Patient-centered care, all right? The importance of, again, meeting people where they are, leading with empathy, and tailoring whatever care plan you come up with to what exactly your family needs. So, in regards to our other aging-friendly businesses, we've got tons that are out there. We've got people that live in senior living, community care, retirement communities. We've got, hospice and palliative care. Man, we've got elder care attorneys, you name it. There are tons of people that touch aging adults. What would be problematic or an issue with having a clinical expert who's a deprescribing specialist partner with any of the above and roll out a way to reach more people, more caregivers, and promise them that you were going to have clear, concise, and personalized care that addresses whether you may be taking too many medications or maybe even too little medications? This is the beauty of having your very own concierge pharmacist work in step with your business. And it could easily be a home health company, it could be a senior living facility or an ALF, or even a concierge doctor's or a primary care service, right? We need experts who can look and assess, are these combinations of meds causing my loved one to fall? Are these combos of meds causing my loved one's mental health and memory to deteriorate? Are these number of meds contributing to any diarrhea or constipation or any aspect of quality life? We have to lead with improving the quality of life for our most vulnerable population. And frankly, we all know meds are involved in almost every step of healthcare. So why aren't we using the experts in meds as a part of your service as an aging provider? Oh, wait a minute. I want you to tell me, what are your thoughts? And frankly, what is holding you back? Do you want to be another person passing the buck, waiting for someone else to find the issue? Or do you want to champion the future of aging, which is going to require, yes, a little bit of stepping out on faith, a little bit of really asking some guided questions, but it's not hard to implement deprescribing into your service and into your protocol. In fact, a lot of it takes place once you start getting access to the patient's medications. A lot of part of your works are going to include intake, right? They're going to include assessments. They're going to include a brief questionnaire where we're discussing the goals of care for your loved one from all the settings I've named above, right? There's a good chance if you're touching the patient intimately, you may have access to that medical record. And upon intake, you may go home, do a home visit. You may open the cabinet, you may open the fridge and kitchenette, and you might see a stockpile of, well, a bunch of medications. Right. What is really happening here? Are these meds actually truly helping the client, or are they contributing to something that's a deeper and sinister issue within this health system? That is what we provide, is that clarity. And so who better than I can partner with GeriatRx, partner with a deprescribing expert, and use that opportunity for you not to just pass the buck as always and say, well, ask your doctor about XYZ. You and I both know the patient's already dealing with all types of barriers and hoops to jump through. They're not going to just ask the doctor about it. I mean, we know that's good advice, and that's, of course, where you want to start, but it's not practical and it's not realistic. So let's bring people the solution today where, hey, you talk to Dr. DeLon and his team at GeriatRx. You get a free 20-minute consultation as a part of our exclusive partnership with your aging-friendly business. We're going to touch all of your patients completely for free and then offer if the patient wants to enroll in having some of our deprescribing services come into play. It's a win-win for you as a business who may otherwise just say, ask your doctor, or now you have a family member exposed to someone who could help themselves, right? Who can learn the process of deprescribing by, well, having a team of pharmacists at your back, at your bedside, ensuring that what you're on isn't contributing to worsening quality of life. Well, not for revenue, but because it's just right. Guys, there's no need to delay. There's no need to wait. There's no need to say that this is just not clinical enough for me or this is out of my wheelhouse. I don't want to touch this. How many times have the health system said, we don't want to touch this, right? We got to stop just passing the buck. And the truth of the matter is, we all know somebody who's on at least one medication. Is it still appropriate 30 years ago compared to today? Is the deeper question, and it leads to you as the service provider, whether it's home health, senior living, or caregiver staffing agency, or a personal family care home. You're now leading with that extra oomph of care that no other business has, okay? No other business has a concierge pharmacist who's going to focus on med safety in perpetuity, okay? Forever, as long as that patient is alive and needs an advocate. GeriatRx is going to be there to serve them alongside your business, okay? So what's the offer? What's the ask? The promise of this service is to make sure that your business becomes a center of excellence for deprescribing. Every business that partners with us allows GeriatRx to touch all of your clients, okay? Whether it's the optional or the membership model. And in that model, we're ensuring that each person, if they so choose, will have their very own deprescribing specialist work in step with all of their care providers, their primary care doctor, their specialists, you name it. It is our mission to bring deprescribing as easily and safely as possible to your families that you're servicing and to the providers that are touching them as well. Because we can't deprescribe in a silo, okay? Medication safety starts with, where did the medication come from? They all play a role. So that, my friend, is how we guarantee and promise that when we partner up, we're going to touch all your clients. We're going to make sure they know that there's an expert available to help them navigate how to minimize or optimize any of their medication lists. And lastly, this helps us really address the elephant in the room. People are dying from the overuse of medications. Plain and simple. Too many of our seniors, our older adults, are dying from the overuse of medications. All right? And I'm sick of it. That's why I created this program. That's why I created the Deprescribing Accelerator. That's why the future of aging has to be synonymous with medication safety. All right? And I'm inviting those who are ready, who are tired of just being the status quo, who are just tired of passing the buck, who want to actually thrive and advocate in a unique way that no other business has. To my knowledge, I don't know aging service providers that are out here actively, and I mean actively, asking clients, when's the last time you've had a talk with a specialist about reducing your harm, and actually following up with that conversation, okay? It's not happening, guys. I mean, the average list we're seeing is going to range between 15, 20 medications, all right, for your 70-year-old mom. What sense does that really make, right? At what point is enough? Are we going to wait till it hits 25 and 30 and then they're on hospice, we take off half of them, and now they're back in a senior living? Why wait for the train wreck to happen, okay? Let's not. Let's play a different game. Let's be proactive. Let's give people the resources now. And let's give the family the peace of mind that they've been craving. I mean, nobody wakes up and just says, I'd love taking 16 meds a day, i.e. 25 pills if I include morning and night, with my meals. Like, no one wakes up and volunteers to do this, okay? So let's be real. Let Delon, the deprescribing pharmacist, let us at GeriatRx take care of those clients. Let us do that review. Let us touch them and help them in a way where they have, first and foremost, the education and awareness to advocate for medication safety. We don't have enough of it, guys. We've got too many people dying in this country by polypharmacy and overprescribing and prescribing cascades and tons of other reasons, right? It could be a drug interaction. It could be a dose that's way too high. It could be your kidney function going downhill, and now that medication is just working 2 times stronger. There's so many reasons that a pharmacist can just enhance what home health is doing, what non-medical care is doing, what caregiving staffing agencies are doing, what our wonderful senior living communities are doing. This needs to be the standard of care. And I'm sorry, it is not happening with all the primary care providers. It's just impossible to ask for that when there's so many competing priorities as the prescriber. I mean, they got 10 problems to solve, and I got to solve them in 20 minutes with you? And oftentimes the medications are neglected, right? Until you have someone who's specifically quarterbacking deprescribing, all right? I want you all to learn that that is the way in the future for us to work together. Additionally, we want to make sure that everyone understands the power of this. Who is this for? We want every senior living in the triangle to understand that geriatrics will partner with you today. It's not for everybody, okay? We're not here to partner with just your run-of-the-mill company. We want people who are forward-thinking, who care deeply and intimately about the families they're servicing. And so we're only looking for 2 to 3 senior living communities, 2 to 3 home health care companies, and 2 to 3 family care homes. Those will be our key partners in this project. And we already have one home health company enrolled and ready to go with our Deprescribing intervention. Who is this not for? Again, if you are looking to make a quick buck, this is not for you. We don't believe in just revenue. We really believe in quality and service over selling. And if you are an institute or practice that focuses on helping people, on literally giving a higher tier set of quality than your competitors, then this is absolutely the program for you. All right? We can make this happen together. We're not out here, again, looking for people that are going to make a quick buck. We're happy to show how this can, of course, generate revenue for both your practices, but we want people who lead with quality first. So I'm not here just saying yes to everybody to partner on this one. I need someone who's like-minded and aligned in giving that special niche care. So what happens when this works out? What happens when people join in with this partnership? All right, let's talk through it. We're here to work with your clients forever, as long as they need us, all right? And they can choose to opt out after that is done. So when people join, if we partner up with, say, your senior living community, everyone in your community will get access to a complimentary 20-minute consultation where we'll overview the logistics of what our medication safety protocol would look like. What's included with that? Well, for those who just need general maintenance, you're going to get a drug-drug interaction report. You're going to get a deprescribing action plan based on your needs. You're going to get care coordination with your providers to share any of the findings we may have. You're going to get a customized personal plan that looks at the non-pharm strategies as well as the pharmacological strategies in your care. Additionally, you're also going to get ongoing support with your pharmacist. So you're going to have access to someone that you can talk to on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis and have 24/7 access to via text, email, call, you name it. All right. The path forward to success comes down to you just simply saying upon your intake or reaching out to your current clients is, are you on too many meds? That's it. We can train your staff to ask those probing questions upon intake. We have a simple referral process where you click on a couple links, put in a name, and we do the rest. All right. We handle the billing if you like. If you want to handle the billing, you can do that as well. But the whole point of success for me is to make sure that all of your clients understand that there is an expert out there who cares enough to look for affordable strategies to help your family reduce any medication-related harm, okay? Whether they choose to join or just get the 20-minute consult, it's up to them. But my goal as a pharmacist is to make sure they know that there is someone out there who's got their back. Otherwise, what's the point of being a deprescribing pharmacist without, having people to deprescribe with? So, what this looks like for your business is on the back end, there is a model that we've implemented that will allow not only revenue for our services, but also for your practice as a referring partner. It'll be exclusive to you. And, of course, there'll be added benefits the longer our relationships grow together. All right? So with that, we only are accepting a few businesses to partner up with this. Every business who works with us, once they've gone through our training and once they've gone through our partnerships, will become a center of excellence in deprescribing. That's the goal. Now, what's the deadline? What's the timeline for this to happen? We got a few more months left in the year, but at the end of the day, we have a deadline in the next month where we're trying and we will solidify about 8 to 10 contracts with other aging service providers, 2 or 3 from each different demographic, and we'll lay out exactly how it works. Once you sign on up with us, we're going to make sure we have access and touch all of the people you service, and we're going to make sure that they have at least that 20-minute consultation to talk more about those medications intimately. And who better than to help you win, as you'll have another extra arm to the services that differentiate you from the hundreds of others of businesses or competitors out there who do not have their own Deprescribing pharmacists. We're only going to expect 10 people, so 10 businesses who are like-minded, who are about quality. You already got one signed up. Enrollment will close, well, at the end of the year. So I'm going to give you guys 3 months, all right? But hey, we've got plenty of opportunities. But once we hit that ceiling of capacity, we're going to have to close applications. We're going to have to close it. And we're going to make sure that we're committing ourselves to quality and to servicing those agreed upon partnerships, all right? So again, we're inviting family home cares, senior living, and we're inviting home health staffing agencies to partner up with GeriatRx today. Do not delay. This is a no-brainer. This will not only service a higher niche clientele, but this will provide something so groundbreaking that, well, frankly, everyone's gonna wanna get on in once it takes place. So I'm giving you guys the first dibs. Slide in our comments and comment Red Pill, or slide in my DM and message me if you are an owner or decision maker who wants to learn more about how the process flow works. We'll again work with you in tandem. We're going to reach out to all your clients. We're going to make sure they get that 20-minute consult. I don't care if they're on 2 medications or 20. We are going to touch everyone, and we're going to let them know how you as a business provider can leverage Deprescribing today. All right? So stay tuned. We got applications. They'll be ongoing until the end of October. And then by the end of the year, we'll roll out into the next phase and start making the magic happen. Thanks for listening in. Again, it's urgent. Do not delay. Too many people are just passing the buck, and then next thing you know, you lost a client because, well, they died. And now, there goes your revenue. Not to be morbid, but we need people to live to pay us to continue our businesses. So why not take a proactive approach, have a clinical expert review things and make sure it is the safest option for your people so they can, well, age in place as safely as possible. All right. This is Dr. DeLon Canterbury tuning out from the red pill versus the blue pill, your favorite Deprescribing pharmacist. Have a lovely week, and let's talk more. Comment red pill if you are interested in putting Deprescribing into your business today. All right. See you later.